good afternoon, Mogul Chix. It's Adrienne. I'm having a little bit of a sticky problem with the Facebook Live, so I hope I don't have to stop this and restart it. But anyway, hello to those of you who are in Florida. We did it. We survived it. I just hope and pray that nothing of yours was too damaged, or if anything was damaged, that lives were okay. So the important thing is we are all alive, and that's all that matters. Things can be replaced. Businesses can be replaced. Houses can be replaced. Family and friends and people cannot be replaced. As you guys know, I had posted that I was evacuating from Florida, and I did try. But this whole weekend was just a series of mishaps. And I teach about disaster planning and continuity planning in the Mogul Chix Academy, and also have worked with some clients to develop continuity plans and disaster plans. And I thought mine was pretty sound. I'm always learning something. We're always learning something. I don't even know where to start, guys. I really don't. I am just now today getting into a state of calm. I'm okay. To those of you who checked in on me, tried to text me, call me, Facebook me, thank you. We did lose power briefly in the middle of the night, a couple of hours, but it was nothing sustained. And our communications was spotty yesterday. So for those of you who are mad at me that I didn't get in touch with you, that's probably why. I probably didn't get your phone calls or your text messages. But in dealing with all of that, I thought about it. And as I hadn't planned on doing a Facebook Live today. I know that I said I wanted to do this every week, do a Facebook Live, but in light of the hurricane and everything that's going on, I wasn't planning on doing one. But then I thought about it, and I thought about my experience and how I thought everything was so prepared. And I said, you know what? A lot of us are one disaster away from losing everything, and not just our businesses, our homes, but our businesses as well. Even if you are primarily an online business, I learned yesterday that the slightest hiccup in communications and technology will make you completely unable to communicate with people. So I wanted to kind of go over some things that you need to know with disaster planning, and to, even if you can't save everything, you can minimize your loss and kind of cut down on the risks. Now, the most important things you have to remember about is insurance, a disaster plan, and a continuity plan. Those are the three things that you really should have: a drafted document and an active document, something that you're constantly adding on to, something that you're constantly expanding or editing and making available to all of your people. Thank you, Angela, for sharing. And you have to pay attention to how things happen. We expected the hurricane to come. And this is I was telling people that my first hurricane, but no, it really isn't. This is my second. I lived in Florida years ago, and we were part of a hurricane, but it wasn't bad where we were. And all I kept thinking about was Harvey and Houston and the flooding and all of the things that are there. So it made me think, okay, first and foremost, we all need to know we need insurance. You need to have your proper damage. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous today. It's just, this whole experience has been surreal for me. But you need to have key man insurance, you need to have property insurance, and you need to have your loss insurance, liability insurance. Because if someone, let's say one of your employees stays behind or whatever, and they get damaged on site, that's liability to you. So what I would suggest, the first tip for you guys to do is make sure you contact an insurance agent. If you have a home, if you have a car, and you have insurance policies, please put in the work, go ahead, get your liability insurance, your key man insurance, your facility insurance, because I know some of you in Mogul Chix group have actual facilities and buildings, but you need to talk to someone. Whoever does your home insurance or your auto insurance, please talk to them and ask them about business insurance. And I said this in one of my lessons. I had someone who said, well, I run a consulting firm and I don't know. She dealt mostly with legal consulting, and she should have known better. And she decided to forego insurance because she didn't want to pay the outward expense. Listen, I got $1 million umbrella. This was a couple of years ago. It was with State Farm. I got $1 million policy, umbrella policy that had liability coverage, key man insurance, and all of that other stuff, loss and all of that. And when I tell you, it only cost me about maybe $1,200 for the year, I want to say it was. That was for my bigger company. I had another company where the premium was only like something like $175. It was just me. I was the only person covered under my insurance, but it still was insurance. So please don't look at what it could potentially cost you out of pocket to do this. Think about what it will cost you if you lose everything and have to replace everything. You have to cover your equipment. You have to cover your people if they're going to be on site. You have to cover your furniture, your facilities. You have to cover your technology, your data. All of that stuff is important. And any inventory, if you have a company where you're selling goods, inventory, you have to protect all of that, because guess what? If you choose to say, you know what, $1,200 is not what I want to pay out of pocket, if something like a Harvey, something like a Hurricane Katrina, or even, God forbid, the big snowpocalypse and the blizzards and things that happen, you can lose everything. Seriously. So please, the number one thing, first tip, get your insurance. Hi, Angela. She says, if you want to do business with big organizations, corporate entities, government, etc., you've got to have liability insurance and more. Yeah, most companies, for you to even be a vendor, if you don't have insurance, even basic insurance, you're not going to be able to do business with them. So I'm going to tell you, like I tell my Mogul Chicks, my members, my students, dig deeper. You're running a business, you're running a company, you're growing a company, and you're growing a legacy that you're trying to preserve and build to pass down through future generations. Don't you want to have something to protect, to pass down? So please, I don't care if the insurance comes out to be $5,000 for the year. You need to make that investment. Let's think, $5,000 for your insurance premium, $500,000 for loss of buildings and furniture and all the other stuff. Please don't play around. Get insurance. Nationwide, Allstate, what's the other one? State Farm, any one of Hiscox, any one of them, they have business insurance. So please, please, please get your business insurance. The second thing you need to have is a communications plan. And I tell people this, and this really stuck out yesterday for me because a lot of people couldn't get in touch with me. I was able to dial out in some cases, and then sometimes it would just be a fast, busy signal. But my brother, I did not hear from my brother till almost 5 p.m. yesterday, and I was shaking in my boots. I spoke to him last Sunday evening about maybe 10 o'clock before the storm really hit, and I hadn't talked to him. But I did talk to my sister, who's in Atlanta, and she had said my mother talked to him briefly at 7 a.m. So me not being able to get in touch with him, that really put me at a disease, because it was like, okay, what's going on? Are they okay? Do they have, communication? Do they have power? I don't know what's going on. So your communication plan has to be in effect. Now, everybody runs and says, well, you know what? If the phone goes, I didn't say this. Other people have said this. If the phone goes down, we can always text. If we can't text, we have an app called Trello. We can do group messaging. Guess what? If the towers go down, if there's no cell service, you're not going to be able to use those apps or devices. Please, people, come up with a communication plan. We love to live off of cellular technology. I don't have a landline, but this has made me feel that maybe perhaps I do need to have a landline. And even if people say, well, we can use Wi-Fi, what if that goes out as well? Now, fortunately, in Florida, Spectrum, which is Charter or whoever it is now, may open up Wi-Fi spots for everyone. But guess what? Who's going to go out there to try to venture out to find a damn Wi-Fi spot? Not me. Not when there's debris and stuff flying around in the air. No. So please, you need to understand that there needs to be a checkpoint, a time where everyone should be checking in as much as they can. When you can get to safety, there needs to be a designated something, a Facebook group, a LinkedIn group, or Twitter chat, something with the hashtag specific to your company, letting people be able to, when they can get on briefly and say, hey, I'm okay, and use that hashtag. So please have a communication plan in place. You have to also account for, if I don't hear from you by X amount of time, what's the next step? So you need to sit down with your team and plan out a communication strategy, for real. Trust me on that one. The next thing you need to do is focus on getting out. Now, I'm not going to tell the whole story. It still kind of irritates me a little bit, but I attempted to evacuate. But guess what? They didn't have a plan. They were going to just drive up as far as they can on I-95 and see where they landed and check into a Marriott because that's where they had, VIP or whatever it was. Guess what? When people started getting notified of Hurricane Irma coming in the severity, people had long since booked up their hotel rooms. So there was going to be absolutely no chance that we found a hotel, a Marriott at that, to get to. Second, I-95. My son left out Friday morning, and it took him 3 hours to get out of Florida. He went 95 because everybody was defaulting to 75 and the turnpike. So that was backed up for days because you had not just Central Floridians, but you had people from South Florida coming up and trying to get out. Wasn't yet set to evacuate on the east side yet. But when Irma decided to shift and change, guess what? Evacuation orders went out. So by the time we were going to evacuate, I-95 was in mandatory evacuation up along the coast. We were not getting out. So I'm not going to get into everything, but let's just say there was an accident on the way out. We never left the area code. I got about 2 hours from my house. We never left the area code. The lead driver, the first driver in our caravan, his car window got smashed in by flying plywood. So we weren't able to leave. So we had to turn around and find a new plan. I came home. I had my brother bring me home. I did not stay with the rest of them because I felt, let me take my chances on my own. This is not to disparage my family. I love my family. And if you guys are watching this, I love you and I'm glad you're safe. However, it showed me that you need to have a plan. Write it down. If you are, and I'm talking about your family plan, your employee plan, everybody needs to have a plan to evacuate well in advance. You can't just wait till the last minute, panic, and then try to jump on the highways like everybody else, especially during a mandatory evacuation. So please have a plan for evacuation. The third thing is you need to figure out what you're going to do about your equipment, your materials. Now, for me, one of my companies, Curvy Girl Closet, you guys know about that. I have lots of clothes that I sell. I didn't secure those. Well, okay, I bagged them up in plastic and put them in the closet furthest away from the window. But as you can see with Hurricane Harvey, water don't care about your boundaries. Water doesn't care about your stuff. You have to figure out what's important, what you can take with you, and what you can leave behind. What's going to be the most to replace, and what you can replace very easily. Now, clothes can be replaced. I didn't care. Yes, it's a big amount of inventory, and I would have been pissed off that I lost money. But that's, again, why you have insurance, to protect your belongings. You need to also come up with a work schedule, designated work schedule. Now, my assistant, she reached out to one of my clients on Friday, and she sent a note saying, I'm sorry, I can't get what you need. I'm about to evacuate. So she copied me on it, and I sent a note, and I said, what did I tell you about business? Get the hell out. I don't care that you don't have to answer to clients right now. Your responsibility is getting out, because she was in a mandatory evacuation area. Get to your brother's house and let me know where you're safe. That's all that was. You have to articulate something, some message to your clients, to your vendors, to your employees. Listen, we are about to embark upon an evacuation, or we have something heavy going on here now, so we cannot help you right now. We hope our office hours will resume by blah, blah, blah. So what we did was we talked when she got there, and after I got home and got settled, and we said, okay, by Tuesday, we're going to make sure that we're open and running. Today, we're open and running. I didn't have any losses, thank you, Jesus, and neither did she, and neither did any of my other team members. But the point was, we had to come up with a plan to let people know. Autoresponders, send out notes. Some of you may have seen, I was supposed to do my show on Friday. I immediately sent out the cancellation notice and email to let people know that I was canceling the show and that I was evacuating. So as long as you can give people some advance notice, as much advance notice as you can, I think it would be okay. So far, I haven't had any complaints, but it is what it is. Another thing is, try to make your items that you sell as hands-off as possible. Let me explain. For those of you who sell books, please get a Barnes & Noble, Amazon, whoever, get a distributor so that it doesn't fall in your lap. I know we all like to sell from our own websites and have our own stash and our own copy, but if there's flood waters coming in and damages your material, you're out of money and you can't fulfill your customer orders. So have some kind of distribution plan in place where you can have your customers still be able to order and receive their items that don't necessarily come from you. So please, 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 please think about that. The next thing is, well, that's part of your continuity plan. The next thing is what happens after the waves stop and the winds stop and everything. What if your people can't work from home? This is where technology comes into play. If they manage to have gotten to an area where they could evacuate and they still have technology power, cell tower service, whatever, then they should be equipped with laptops or cell phones, smartphones or tablets so that the work can still go on as long as they're in a safe place. Now here, we had a curfew in effect until 6 p.m. last night, Monday night, and nobody was leaving to go anywhere. So it was unrealistic for me to say, okay, if the power goes out, I could go to Starbucks across the street because it was a curfew and I wasn't able to do it. But think about it. What if your people are spread out across the world and maybe your person in Central Florida is under evacuation, but your person in Denver is fine? Can your person in Denver take over the responsibilities for the people in Florida? This is where cross-training your staff comes into play, and it's very important because that way nothing falls through the hoops, excuse me. Make sure that you are preparing people to continue the work and carry on if there is an emergency. And I hate to be doom and gloom, guys, and I'm not making this political, but the times that we live in with North Korea on our asses and Iran bringing up the rear and Russia coming across the other way, we don't know what's going to happen. So we have to prepare, and yesterday didn't help matters that yesterday was the 16th anniversary of 9/11. Again, I'm not doing doom and gloom. This is reality. If you're going to be a business owner, if you're going to own a company that is responsible for people, creating jobs and creating opportunities, you got to put on your big girl panties and you have to think about these things. It may be unsexy, it may be unpleasant, but you have to. This alone, this last week with Harvey and this week with Irma, and the fact that we don't know what's going on abroad, we need to prepare. You need to have these policies and plans in place because we don't know what's going to happen. So that continuity plan will help you with what's going to happen in case Sally can't work, or what happens if the systems go down in Texas, but they're up in Denver, or what. Have all of that mapped out before your disaster. If you need help writing a continuity plan or disaster plan, we do that at Mogul Chix. Call us. We'll give you our rates, let you know how we do it or what we do it. But I want you to think about it and have a common sense approach to it. A lot of times people will say one of two things. Screw it. They got to understand I'm in business and I got to shut it down for my safety. Or we'll say, oh my God, I can't shut down because I'll lose everything. Either way, we endanger ourselves. The first way, we endanger losing customers by not being clear and offering them alternatives. The second way, we lose possibly our lives because we're so stubborn to stay behind and protect. I saw people in Key West, which is now underwater, with bars who said, we're staying here. We built this, we're riding this out, and now gone. Not the people, but the place of business, gone. So you gotta have a clear plan. You have to think logically when you're putting together your plans. Please, I can't stress to you, and I'm still shaken up. You guys know I'm hardly ever tongue-tied, but I am shaken up. I'm shook because this whole experience has taught me a lot, and I never stop learning. But make sure in your continuity plan you have your service level agreement. Write that down. Service level agreement to your customers and your partners in case of emergency. Backup and logistics planning. I just told you authorized sites to work. Any cloud stuff that's going on. VPNs and things like that you need. And please, Carbonite for backup and protection. And I'm a firm user of Carbonite. And please make sure you're constantly backing up all of your data. And make sure that there is not just cloud backup, but an off-site backup as well. Okay, I'm telling you. Backup your technology, your data protocols. Make sure that you have your fulfillment protocols in place. Make sure that your communications is in place, and then your financial imperatives, your fiduciary responsibility to your customers. You got to make sure that you're not conflicting with your safety. So yeah. Then the other thing is your operations. You know, I tell you guys, we do a thing about operation strategies in our Mogul Chix Academy. And the operations, I do that because you have to have your systems and processes in place. And especially in natural disaster, there have to be alternative plans in place. So the places down in Miami that are flooded, Naples that can't open, what's going to happen with them? You know, especially people that have products and services and they've been destroyed, how are they going to do anything? Well, if they had an e-commerce side to it and they had an off-site distribution center somewhere, okay, they would take a loss on their physical facility and the equipment and things that they have on site. But guess what? They can still service their customers because they have off-site distribution. So please consider, if you're a bricks and mortar company, please consider an e-commerce component to it. If you're an e-commerce business, please consider a bricks and mortar component somewhere that is off-site from where you are so that you can be able to have fulfillment later on. Think about third-party fulfillment, third-party distribution. All of these things, I bet you most of you haven't even considered this or thought about it because you're so used to being the number one chick in charge and I'm the leader of the business, I run this. We forget about that other stuff. The last thing I want to see is anything happen to any of you as far as your safety and your health. And even more than that, I don't want to see what you've built be destroyed in a matter of hours because of some wind and some water. Okay. And then the final thing I would say is if you're in an evacuation zone for anything, please get out. The minute they tell you, I think this is the area where it's going to be hit hardest, or I think this is the area to evacuate, please get your ass up and evacuate. Please don't wait till the last minute. So, I mean, I've shared as much as I can, what my mind is letting me share. I did take a little bit of notes, but if you guys have any questions, let me know about continuity planning, insurance, risk. I'm not an insurance advisor. I'm not an insurance agent, but I do know I've run businesses forever and dealt with my own insurance stuff. Remember, if you have insurance, your stuff could be replaced. You may be inconvenienced for a little bit, but your stuff can be replaced. And here's a rule of thumb that I have. Like right now, I'm talking from my MacBook laptop. I have my iPad, and I have one of my cell phones. As long as I have these three with me, like my Mogul Chix brand, my Busy's Place brand, my real estate company, all of that is, as long as I grab that stuff, throw it in a bag and take it with me like I did, I'm good, as long as I have a signal. But like with Curvy Girl Closet, I have physical products. So start thinking about your technology as well. What is it going to be? What if you can't bring your laptop with you and you only have seconds to grab? Make sure you have a tablet and a smartphone that can sync with your laptop data. Make sure you're backing up your data every single day in the cloud and off-site as well. So that way you can at least still get some work done when you're able, when you have power and stuff like that. Now, I'm going to go into all the things that you need to bring with you as far as chargers and batteries, and because you guys know all that stuff. But in order to ensure your business is minimally affected, have a smart plan in place. Don't ride it out. Don't wait to the last minute. Talk to your team. Talk to your insurance company. Bring your insurance person in to talk to your team. Make it a group learning event. Speak to someone, get the help from someone who can help you with continuity planning, who can help you with risk management planning. So please, I'm telling you, only because of my experiences this weekend and looking at the past at Katrina, looking at Harvey last week, looking at Matthew last year, looking at Hurricane Charlie, looking at Hurricane Sandy up in New York. We don't know where this stuff is going to hit. We don't know. And the way the infrastructure of the cities are built now, more and more cities are starting to get flooded. You know, I made a joke and said, well, shoot, I'm going up to North Dakota or something. Blizzard conditions. You know, if it's not summertime hurricanes, it could be the snowpocalypse or snowstorms. We don't know. Shit is getting real. So the only thing I can tell you is, without panicking, prepare your business for the worst and just hope for the best. So If you guys have any questions, you can tweet me at Talent Diva. You can send me an email at info@mogulchix.com. I hope you found this enlightening. I hope I didn't scare you. It wasn't my intent to scare you. And if you are scared, shake it off. You are Mogul Chix. And yeah, let's talk about that. Let's get it in here. Let's get planning. I don't want you guys to lose anything. And those of you guys up in Atlanta, I know you guys got hit yesterday. So I hope everything is okay up there. And then whoever is in the storm path now, Hurricane Jose is on the way. Ironic, it's named after my dog, right? But yeah, just be safe, guys. Be safe. So I am Adrienne Graham, CEO and founder of Mogul Chix, and I'm happy to share my experiences and wisdom with you. So I will catch you later. Mogul Chix Radio will be back on this Friday, and things are back to normal for now, I guess, with Mogul Chix at least. So if you need me, info@mogulchix.com. Join us at the Mogul Chix website, mogulchix.com. Talent Diva, tweet me. Instagram, my name, Adrienne Graham. Or make sure you join the Mogul Chix membership. We share tools and resources and strategies and things that we can do to help you solidify your business. So general and premium memberships are available. And Mogul Chix Academy is coming up in October. So I will see you guys later. That's all I have. And thank you. And you're welcome, Angela. Thank you guys for tuning in. And I will catch you. And those of you watching the replay, I'll catch you later.